إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. Once again, I welcome all of you, and we're going to continue reading from al-Mulakhas al-Fiqhi of our noble Sheikh al-Allama al-Doktor Salih bin Fawzan al-Fawzan حفظه الله تعالى وغفر له ولوالديه وللمسلمين والمسلمات آمين. Before that, I would like to relate to you the salam and the greetings of our noble Sheikh al-Walid al-Allama Ubayd ibn Abdullah al-Jabiri حفظه الله تعالى. I spoke with him today. Alhamdulillah, he's doing well. And he asked about the da'wah and about Muslims here. Alhamdulillah, we told him everything is fine. Alhamdulillah. Well, Alhamdulillah. Likewise, I try to get with our noble Shaykh al-Walid al-Allama Rabi' ibn Hadi al-Madkhali, but I spoke to one of his close students, Alhamdulillah, who told me that the Shaykh is doing very well. As health-wise, alhamdulillah. Now, alright, we continue, inshallah ta'ala. Likewise, I spoke with our noble brother, Hassan al-Somali, who relayed the salam to, alhamdulillah. We're going to continue still in the section of marriage and nikah. We're still in the first chapter, and the last point we were reading is the Shaykh, he mentioned that the marriage can be obligatory in some cases, or recommended, or permissible, or disliked, or even haram. Okay, or even haram for a person to get married, but under certain circumstances we're going to learn. Okay, now قال ويستحب النكاح. The first thing we mentioned, that the nikah, that it become wajib, when it's become obligatory upon a person. And we learned that when a person fears for himself, he has desires and he has the means to get married, so that person should get married. It become obligatory upon that person to get married, so he doesn't fall into haram and zina. We continue by the second ruling. قال ويستحب النكاح مع وجود الشهوة وعدم الخوف من الزنا لاشتماله على مصالح كثيرة للرجال والنساء. He says, now marriage become mustahab, desirable, when there is a desire, but there is no fear of committing unlawful sexual intercourse, as marriage involves many benefits for both men and women. So that's the difference between it wajib. The wajib is when a person is afraid for himself. He's in an area, he's in an environment that he may fall into the zina wal-iyadu billah, so it becomes obligatory upon him to get married. But this is the ruling. This doesn't mean that that person go ahead and marry anybody. Okay, so that's the ruling. So at least he know the ruling. That is obligatory. If a person is full of desires and afraid for himself, then that person should get married. It's become wajib upon that person. Even remember, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah says that person should get married before even go make hajj. That is wajib upon him, to protect himself from falling into zina. Okay? But this doesn't mean, of course, that the person go and marry anybody. Okay? But you still have to follow the guidelines in Islam to choose the right woman, that she has the proper understanding of the religion, and she fears Allah, because that's the one that's going to help him, inshallah ta'ala. We're not saying that's the one that has no problems, because what is that woman that we're not going to give you problems? Huh? And we too don't give problems to our wives. Well, alhamdulillah, there is no marriage that is problem free. But some people, they like troublemakers, or like long way, Some they make a mistake sometimes here and there. Right, Abdul Majid? Where you at? Where do you stand? You stand close to me. That's the right answer. Say, I stand close to you. And you are, because you're not lying. Alhamdulillah. Abdullah. تعالى ولد. جزاكم الله خير. نعم. So now the Shaykh, he says, marriage become desirable, not wajib, for who? For the one who has the ability to get married, but still this person, for whatever reason, maybe because of him, or maybe the area he lives in, alhamdulillah, it's an area that he doesn't fear for himself to fall into zina, still it becomes desirable for him because there is so many benefits that marriage brings, for both, for the men and the women. So that's the second ruling, okay? The third ruling on marriage, قال ويباح النكاح مع عدم الشهوة والميل إليه كالعنين والكبير وقد يكون مكروها. This is the fourth. قد يكون مكروها في هذه الحالة لأنه يفوت على المرأة الغرض الصحيح من النكاح وهو إعفافها وهذا النكاح يضر بالمرأة. قال الشيخ. So the Shaykh says, but marriage becomes allowable, mubah, permissible, when there is no lust. Okay? But a person wants to get married. This is the case of the impotent person or an old man. Okay? However, in such case, marriage may be disliked, as it deprives the wife of the actual purpose of marriage, namely safeguarding her chastity, as a husband's impotency causes a wife's great harm. I know. ويحرم النكاح. So in this statement there was both the al-mubah wal-makruh. So we have the fifth one. ويحرم النكاح على المسلم إذا كان في دار كفار حربيين لأن فيه تعريضا لذريته للخطر واستيلاء الكفار عليهم ولأنه لا يأمن على زوجته منهم. Now when marriage becomes prohibited for a person to get married, the Shaykh says marriage becomes prohibited for a Muslim man who lives in a disbelieving country engaged in a war with Muslims. Okay? So I want you to pay attention to the details, okay? The Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, says marriage becomes prohibited for a Muslim man who lives in a disbelieving country, but look, with this condition, that country is fighting the Muslim. They are in war with Muslims. The actual war, not like the propaganda of people, the Khawarij saying America is in war with all the Muslims and stuff. Not the propaganda, but this real war. Alright? So why? He says because marriage in this case may expose his family to danger and being captured by the disbelievers. In addition, he will not feel secure for his wife living amongst them. I know. Okay? So these are understood, these 5 rulings. When marriage become wajib, obligatory. I know. When a person have the ability to get married and is afraid for himself to fall into zina, then that person become obligatory upon him to get married. But like I say, but alhamdulillah, that person should make the right choice. It may take them a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever the case, but as long as they are on their mind, look, I need to get married. And he is thinking about it and looking, following the guidelines of the sunnah. Not like someone who need to get married, but they still say, I'm only 19. But he has money, he has everything what he needs. I'm only 23. Some even they say, I'm only 37. Why am I going to get married? You're only 37? Ya subhanallah. لا As long as a person, alhamdulillah, and those who are in a community, they know and they see around them in the community single brothers who are, alhamdulillah, they have good manners, good akhlaq, they are upon the sunnah, upon the aqidah of the salaf, they have good manners, they've seen them for months, for maybe years. Then they should approach them and say, "Akhi, getting married." If that person, a father or uncle or grandfather or whatever the case, if they have a daughter, they have a sister, they have a cousin, and he come to him and say, "Akhi, listen," and then make things easy for him. Not a big dowry like in some countries, subhanallah. Some countries, amazing. Dowry, $50,000 in front and a $50,000 later on. What are you, marriage? What you talking about? Now they have a big problem. A lot of women now, they reach the 30s and almost 40s, still don't get married. Big problem. Because the young, they cannot afford that. Some they like with that or less than that, and you have to own your own house. You mean no rent? You gotta own your own house. You gotta have this money in the bank, and plus that money of the dowry, you gotta have this much of gold. Yeah, all of this, but this is not from the Sunnah, of course. It's from customs. And likewise, like I says, if there is some fathers or something, they should look in. And also, as a member of a community, when we know somebody who's single, and maybe because the way he drives or whatever, he have a nice job, but still, akhi, why you're not getting married? Why you're not getting married? Why are you going to get married? You should get married. Nah, akhi, can't ask those questions all the time. We help them, inshallah. If we know somebody, say, akhi, the brother so-and-so, he has a daughter, he has a sister, he has a cousin, whatever, talk to him. Alhamdulillah. This is how we help each other upon the truth and upon good. Okay? Now. قال ويسن, that's what we says, obligatory, then mustahab, and then the mubah, and then the makruh, and then the haram. طيب? نعم. ويسن نكاح المرأة الدينة ذات العفاف والأصل الطيب لحديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال تنكح المرأة لأربع لمالها ولحسبها ولجمالها ولدينها فاظفر بذات الدين تربت يداك متفق عليه. Now the Shaykh says it is now an act of sunnah. It is good. This is what we're supposed to do. This is the choice we're supposed to be making. That a person marry a religious, chaste woman of a noble origin. Aina. Religious, not just she's a Muslim and she don't know her religion. No, she practices Islam. She's upon correct aqidah. She fears Allah. She knows Allah. Why this is gonna help? Because when the husband, when she start doing anything that is not right, when she start acting up, as we say, all what that man do is to remind her of Allah. You see? Because this woman, she fears Allah. She loves Allah. She's obedient to Allah, but being a human being like we're men, human being too, we mess up big time. Okay, but for the one who's religious and he cares about his religion and he wants to apply it correctly, all what that person needs is what? A reminder. That's why Allah says, وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And remind them, for indeed the admonition remind who? The believers. Those who care about Islam and fear Allah and love Allah and they real in their claims, then all they need is an ayah. All they need is one hadith. Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, the person who wants to do what is right, what is pleasing to Allah, in every level, one dalil is enough. One dalil. Whether an ayah or a hadith. But if a person want to do whatever they want to do in their minds, you can bring them 1,000 hadith. They still going to find a way to get around it. Because that's not what they want. But if a person wants the haqq, no, they make a big mess. You tell them, akhi, subhanallah, how you do this? Allah says, He says, Astaghfirullah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. How can I fix this mess? He ain't going to fight you. No, it's not like that, brother. The ayah. Where is the ayah? Let me see. Oh, I'm gonna find it in my mushaf. What's he talking about? Your mushaf. You have another mushaf? There's only one book. Quran is preserved. Now, what the Mashayikh says, tafsir. Ibn Kathir. Now I want to see Qurtubi. Okay, Qurtubi said the same thing that Ibn Kathir says. Oh, no, Tabari. Tabari is on the same line with them. Okay, well, what Al-Baghawi says, the same thing. Muhammad Amin Shangiti, same thing. Oh, give me a couple of days. Now he's going to come to you and say, but Sayyid Qutb said. Sayyid Qutb. Allahu Akbar. No, because all of the ulama of Ahlul Sunnah, al-Jama'ah, the Salaf, all they agreed on the haqq. Now you want to go to Sayyid Qutb? You want to go to Mawdudi? Or Ghazali? La hawla la quwwata. See, the one who wants the haqq, that's it. You bring them, akhi, qala Allah. Astaghfirullah, atubu ilayh. Bismillah, ya akhi, I'm right, I'm wrong, you're right. Let's do it. But if someone, akhi, want to play games, forget about it. That's why a lot of us men, we having problems with those who amongst us who have a problem with women because they didn't make the right choice in the beginning. And likewise, that woman that going through a lot of hardship with the husband because she didn't make the right choice in the first place and to begin with. You know? And even those who did not make the right choice, but then, mashallah, if both of them, if the husband, sometimes because we understand, sometimes you find a man marry a woman, he's lost himself. He's just a Muslim, but he don't know much. She's just a Muslim, but she don't know nothing about her religion. But then after years, you will find sometimes both of them, alhamdulillah, they become religious. And they're like, look, enough is enough, man. We wasted a lot of time. Let us get serious. This dunya is going to come to an end. Our life will come to an end. We don't even know when. That could be tonight. Let's get it together. I'm not just going to be nice to you whenever you're nice to me. No, I'm going to get to that level that I have to be nice to you regardless whether you're nice to me or not. Because that's what I'm pleasing to Allah. And this is the ihsan. This is the real thing. That's when you see yourself you're doing something for Allah or for something else. As Shaykh Muhammad bin Hadi, he says, Hafidahullah, he says, look, man, when you're nice to others because they are nice to you, that's easy. That's very easy. When you find yourself being nice to this brother, why? Because he's nice to you all the time. That's easy. No. He says, you really want to apply ihsan? Well, be nice to those who are not nice to you. Allahu Akbar. Said, those who are not nice to you, they bad to you, they give you a hard time, and you're nice to them, now you're applying the ayah of Allah. Wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. Aina. Likewise, ya akhi, when the husband treats his wife nicely and kindly and is patient, even though that she's not doing what she's supposed to do, why he doing that? He's doing it because that's what Allah wants him to do. Not like, okay, you want to play games? I'm going to play games too. You want to show me some hard time? I'm going to show you some real hard time. No, he's not doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him. Likewise, when a woman, she's nice to her husband because he's nice to her. How nice? Because he let her do whatever she want to do. He let her go wherever she want to go. He don't ask her where you been, what you doing, what you wearing. She wear whatever she wants. She talk to whom, whatever she want to talk to. Oh, mashallah. Her husband is not saying nothing. She's saying to everybody she has the best husband on earth. Is he? No, he's not. No, he still have to tell her, woman, don't dress like that. She's going to give him a hard time. He's still going to tell her, don't dress like that, don't look like that, don't talk like that, don't watch this, don't do this, don't go there. But some men, they're like, akhi, why if I tell her that, she's going to give me a hard time? I don't want no problems. No, what do you mean? You're responsible of her. As long as you do it with the right way, alhamdulillah, with hikmah, with this, with patience, even if she give you a hard time, even if she look at you funny, even if she burn the food, whatever, make it salty, because she just want to because she didn't like how the way you talk to her, still, take that. Go fix yourself a sandwich. But you still have to tell her, listen, I'm doing this for you. You give me a hard time. You're giving it to yourself. Allah command you to dress properly. Allah command you to stay home. Allah command you not to talk to other men. Allah command you to pray. That's what I'm doing. I'm not telling you go somewhere and dance and bring me money. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you the things that your Lord command you with. Pray on time. Dress properly. Don't go outside with all of the makeup on. Don't talk to other men that you have no business to talk to. That's what I'm telling you because I want what's good for you. Alayyin. Allah salam wa afiyah. So the Shaykh, he says, it is now an act of sunnah that is good for a person to marry irreligious, chaste women of a noble origin. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu says that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a woman is married for 4 reasons. This is what some men are looking for. Wealth. Some men just give him a wealthy woman. Doesn't matter who she is, what she do, what she don't. He don't care. Wealthy, that's all he wants. So a woman is married for her wealth, her family status, her beauty, or her religiousness. Is it such a word, religiousness? Yes, Allah, that's what's in here. Meaning she's religious. She practices her religion properly, alhamdulillah. She try her best. She's not going to be perfect. But as long as a woman that she cares about her religion, she cares about death, she cares about the hereafter, she knows that the Jannah is true, but the Jannah is not for everybody. Jannah is for the muttaqun. She knows the hellfire is real, and the hellfire, you can escape it if the people are disobeying Allah and believe and deserve to get into the hellfire. This woman, she is religious. This woman, even though she's going to do something or do something, but one reminder will be enough for her. So the Prophet ﷺ, he says, so you should marry the religious one, or else you will be a loser. Mayna. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية. وقد ورد النهي عن نكاح المرأة لغير دينها. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Shaykh mentioned this hadith, لا تنكحوا النساء لحسنهن فلعله يرضيهن ولا لمالهن فلعله يطغيهن وانكحوهن للدين. The Shaykh mentioned this hadith that is collected not in similar wordings by Ibn Majah, okay? But however, when I checked the checking of and the grading of Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, he said هذا الحديث ضعيف جدا ضعيف جدا. This hadith is very weak. I'm going to read you the translation. You should not marry women for the sake of their beauty, for it may lead them to ruin through arrogance and conceit. Nor should you marry them for the sake of their wealth, for it might lead them to transgression. Rather, you should marry them for the sake of their religion. Meaning they're religious. However, like I mentioned to you, this hadith, when I checked it in Sahih Ibn Majah, the hadith is, the Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah ta'ala, mentioned it that is very weak. And also he mentioned it in a silsila da'ifa, hadith number 1060. قال وقد حث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم على اختيار البكر فقال لجابر رضي الله عنه فهلا بكرا تلاعبها وتلاعبك متفق عليه ولما في زواج البكر من الألفة التامة حيث لم يسبق لها التزوج بمن قد يكون قلبها متعلقا به فلا تكون حاجتها للزوج الأخير تامة. أي نعم. Another point now, these are advices that the Shaykh is giving to those who wants to get married, and also those who are already married to take notes and try to correct whatever they can correct. The Prophet ﷺ recommended that a man marry a virgin. Recommended that a man marry a virgin, because the Prophet ﷺ said to Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhuma, why have you not married a virgin? Because he didn't marry a virgin, Jabir ibn Abdullah. And he has a reason, because when his father, the ulama, he says when his father died, he left him in charge of his sisters. So he was a hakim, a wise young man who who married an older woman so that she can help him take care of his sisters, as I heard once. But the Prophet ﷺ said to him, why have you not married a virgin so that you may play with her and she may play with you? And meaning that this brings more harmony in the marriage. And the Shaykh, he mentioned, he says, this is because, and this is related by Bukhari and Muslim, by the way. He says, this is because marrying a virgin involves absolute intimacy and affection, as she has no ex-husband to whom her heart may be attached, affecting her desire and affection for the present husband. Aina. So the virgin that she don't know, she never been married before, so she marry her husband, that's all she know. As opposed, if she's been before, she may still have some affections for the other man, so it's not total affection for the new husband. Now, and the Shaykh said it's recommended. This doesn't mean that it's haram to marry women who have been married before. La. Alright? So we shouldn't just deduct rulings from ourselves. Oh yes, so since it's recommended to marry a virgin, so it's haram to marry a woman that was married before. I will never do such thing. Says who, akhi? Did you hear me say that? Did you hear me read that the Shaykh said that? So we shouldn't just go ahead and deduct rulings ourselves. We're not in that level. Now we just hear and try to get the correct understanding. Yes, it's recommended to marry a virgin, but if a non-virgin is available, she has good akhlaq, good religion, yes, you can marry her. And the Prophet ﷺ, how many virgins he married? Wahida. Aisha radiallahu anha. And the rest, the Prophet ﷺ, they were married before. Alright, so don't say it's haram or this or la. So we need to sometimes to take it easy before we come to conclusions. أي نعم. قال ويسن اختيار الزوج الولود أي بأن تكون من نساء يعرفن بكثرة الأولاد. I'm not replying. It's not a reply to the class, no? Right? But they asked this question before. Huh? It's again. الحمد لله. لحديث أنس رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال تزوجوا الودود الولود فإني مكاثر بكم الأمم يوم القيامة. رواه النسائي وغيره وجاء بمعناه أحاديث. Also the Shaykh, he says that it is considered an act of the Sunnah that one marries a fertile woman. A fertile woman means that get pregnant and give birth to children. One of those women known for their fertility and Fecundity. How you say that? Fecundity. Huh? You don't know that word before? Maybe it's French. Yeah, French, English. Yeah, that's what I assume. How you say it in French? Fécondité. Ah, oui, alors. Anyway, meaning fertility. Huh? Ikale. Anas. Allahu Akbar. Sometimes the translators, they bring some words that is not known to the people. It depends on the translator, if it's from this country or the other country. You heard that Abdul Majid before? Huh? No, that word, did you hear it before? Fecundity, which is like fertility, like she's known to be from women that they give birth to a lot of children. Nah, not even one time. Well, if you hear it one time, you might not even remember. Maybe French. Okay. Fertility, huh? All right. Fertility. Ability to produce abundance of children. Fertile. I know. So we stick with what we know. Inshallah, we stick with what we know. طيب. Anas radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet ﷺ says, marry women who are loving and very prolific. They loving too, they have good manners, not a temper and attitudes all the time. They're nice and easy and caring, loving. Ya subhanallah. And the woman, she should be like that. For I shall be proud, the Shaykh says, of the great number of you, meaning the Muslim nation, not nation of Islam. The Muslim nation, okay? In comparison with other nations on the day of resurrection. Aina. This hadith is sahih. Imam al-Albani, when I looked at it, he mentioned is in Abu Dawood and Nasa'i, but with similar wordings in there, found it, that Imam al-Albani said is sahih, alhamdulillah, authentic hadith. وحكم التزوج يختلف باختلاف حال الشخص وقدرته الجسمية والمالية واستعداده لتحمل مسؤوليته. Then the Shaykh says the ruling pertaining to marriage differs according to the condition of the person, his physical and financial ability, as well as his preparedness to shoulder its responsibility. The Prophet ﷺ exhorts young people to get married early, as they need it more than others do. You see? And he says, ﷺ, يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباء فليتزوج فإنه أغض للبصر وأحسن للفرج ومن لم يستطع فعليه بالصوم فإنه له وجاء رواه البخاري ومسلم وغيرهما. Prophet ﷺ, he addressed the young people. He said, O young people, whoever among you have the ability to marry should marry. For marriage, meaning, it helps in lowering one's gaze and guarding one's chastity. It guards one's private parts against committing adultery. And whoever does not have the ability to marry should fast. For fasting is protection for him, because it diminishes one's sexual desires. When a person is fasting, alhamdulillah, he's upon taqwa. And you remember in Ramadan, when the people fast, the taqwa go high, and people, they think about the Jannah more, about the dunya in Ramadan. Because of the fasting, the effects of fasting, alhamdulillah. So if a person sees himself getting in trouble, inclines towards dunya, fast. Go ahead and fast Monday, Thursday, fast every other day. Fast until your shahwa go down. Hey, subhanallah, it's good. Fasting is very good, ya akhwan. Now. والباء هنا قيل هي الجماع وقيل هي مؤن النكاح ولا تنافي بين القولين لأن التقدير من استطاع منكم الجماع لقدرته على مؤن النكاح. Now the Shaykh is going to mention the ba'a. What is that ability the Shaykh mentioned? He says, in explaining the aforementioned hadith, some scholars view that the ability here refers to the ability to copulate, meaning for intimacy, while others believe that ability here refers to the financial ability to afford marriage. However, the Shaykh says there is no contradiction, because the one who is able for intimacy and have the means should get married. قال وقوله أغض للبصر أي أدفع لعين المتزوج عن النظر إلى الأجنبية. It helps a person lowering his gaze, means that marriage helps the married one to keep away from gazing at ajnabiyat, those foreign women that he has no business to look at. وأحسن للفرج أي أشد منعا وحفظا له من الوقوع في الفاحشة. And also the marriage is a protection for one's chastity, means that marriage keeps one away from committing fornication, because he's married, alhamdulillah. ثم قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من لم يستطع أي لا يقدر على النكاح ومؤنه فعليه بالصوم أي يتخذ الصوم علاجا بديلا فإنه له وجاء أي يدفع الشهوة ويجنبه خطرها كما يقطعها الوجاء وهو الاختصاء لأن الصائم بتقليل الطعام والشراب يحصل له انكسار الشهوة ويحصل له شعور خاص في حال الصيام من خشية الله وتقواه كما قال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون وقال تعالى وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. The Shaykh says the Prophet ﷺ then enjoined that fast that actually whoever does not have the ability to get married and cannot afford it should fast, meaning should resort to performing voluntary fasting as a substitute remedy, as fasting is protection against committing unlawful sexual intercourse because it diminishes one's sexual desire. And this is due to the fact that abstaining from food and water lessens one's lust. In addition to this, fasting involves a special feeling of piety and fear of Allah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Exalted says, O you who have believed, the decreed upon you is fasting, as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Allahu Akbar. Fasting helps person to be righteous, and you wonder why in Ramadan, as I mentioned, people they become more righteous and masjid and remembrance of Allah. Alhamdulillah, fadl min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah as well, but to fast is best for you if you only know, if you only knew. فأمر صلى الله عليه وسلم بمقاومة الشهوة واتقاء خطرها بأمرين مرتبين. الأمر الأول الزواج عند المقدرة عليه، والثاني الصيام لمن لم يقدر على الزواج، مما يدل على أنه لا يجوز للإنسان أن يترك نفسه في مدارج الخطر. الله أكبر. وهذا كقوله تعالى وأنكحوا الأيام منكم والصالحين من عبادكم إلى قوله تعالى وليستعفف الذين لا يجدون نكاحا حتى يغنيهم الله من فضله. The Shaykh says in brief, the Prophet ﷺ commanded resisting lust and avoiding its dangers by resorting to two successive matters. The first matter. So to conclude this chapter, our noble Shaykh, Hafidahullah, ومتعه بالصحة والعافية, he says, in brief, the Prophet ﷺ commanded resisting lust and avoiding its dangers by resorting to two successive matters. So the youth especially, and the others as well. The first one is to marry when there is the ability to do so. You have the ability, get married. Don't just sit there and say, I'm okay. Get married, have the ability, start looking for the right woman, you find her, Bismillah. Tawakkul ala Allah. The second matter is to resort to voluntary fasting in case one cannot afford marriage. Person now cannot afford marriage. He's, no, he got no money, he got nothing, mashallah, then fast. Or a person, he has a job, he has a place, he's looking, why he's looking? Fast. Fast, so that fasting helps a person. Person, he's not married and he's not fasting, I don't know what he's doing. Because the Shaykh said you got to protect yourself. This indicates, the Shaykh said, that it is impermissible. It is not permissible for a man to let himself be exposed to the dangers of sins. Allahu Akbar. SubhanAllah. This is how we understand it now. You are able to get married? Go ahead. Get married. You're not able? Fast. The Shaykh says, because it is not permissible for a man to let himself be exposed to the dangers of sin. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and the ayat in Surah An-Nur, we read to you now the translation, the meaning of what Allah says in English, and marry the unmarried among you. Because it's haram to marry a married woman. If a woman is married, that's it. Nobody should propose for a married woman or not even look just in case something go wrong, you know. Not all that stuff is haram. Some people, they be playing games. Approach a married woman, listen, if he give you a hard time, you know where to go to. This is not from Islam. This is not from Islam, man. A'udhu billah. Naam, it's permissible in the iddah if a woman, for example, her husband died or whatever or something, and he can't tell her. He can't tell her, I want to marry you, because it's not permissible. You know, wait for the iddah to come over. But as we're going to learn later on, yes, it's permissible for that man to say, you will see nothing but good from me, inshallah, if you consider me. Stop. Not like I want to marry you, because she's still in iddah. But not for a married woman. People have to fear Allah. Sometimes you find women. A woman come and complain to another woman in a masjid or whatever about her husband. Look, he's giving me a hard time. Well, where is that man amongst us who's not giving his wife a hard time? Is there any man amongst us, I'm asking you a real question, that never gave his wife a hard time? Those who are married? I know I am not. We got issues. We don't? Huh? The Kool-Aid man. We do have a lot of issues, man. I'm serious. Likewise, the women, where is that woman that she has no problems? Where's she at? They don't exist. Women give problems to the men give problems to the women. That's who we are. So now you find a woman come and complain, oh, husband did this, who he think himself. She's like, you know what? I got somebody else for you. Just get rid of him. A'udhu billah. This is bad. She's telling her, I got something lined up for you. Get rid of him. How? Ask for khula. A'udhu billah. These women are evil. Instead to tell her, be patient. There is no other husband who is perfect. Prophet ﷺ, he is perfect. Alhamdulillah. As in our days, man, if you find a man that is nice 3 days out of a week, that's good. So be patient. Be patient. You think if you get out of this one, you're gonna find someone you might find worse. So be patient. What did he do to begin with? That's it. That's all you have. If I tell you when I'm patient with my man, you think like your issues is minor compares to mine. But I never complain to you. We need women like that. To scold these little young ladies that they think like spend 3 months with a man, the first problem, I'm out of here. Out of here where? This is not a bus ride. You don't like the seat, you're going to change another one. No, this is marriage. This is a responsibility. This is for real. And that's why you wonder, a girl, she's 26, but she's been married, I don't know, 10 times, 9 times. 7 children or 9 from different, and she got problems. Simply, Wallahu a'lam, maybe those who give her advice, they don't give her a good advice. They don't tell her, hey, be patient. We all have issues with our husbands. He's nice, brother. He prays? Yes. He goes to work? He paid the bills? Yes. So what's the problem? Well, he yelled at me. So what? Ignore him. Let's ignore him. Don't talk to him like that. Just ignore him. Actually, wallahi, if our women, they want to act like the Salafiyat do, when your husband look at you funny, you smile. When he said something bad to you, you don't say a word, and you go to the fridge and give him some ice cream. That's what it is. Can you imagine if women do this? Wallahi, ya akhi, that's what's going to add more beautiful years to their marriages. He's like, you, this, that. She leave the room. He don't know what she's going to do. All right? She don't say nothing. He don't know if she's going to pack or leave. Then in not even 2 minutes, she coming back with a nice bowl of what? Ice cream with his favorite icing on it. If you are that man, what would you do? Huh? Huh? I'm not going to ask you no more. That's it. Wallahi. Listen, even if I make a mistake and ask, you don't answer. Jazakallah khair. But you're all right. You're all right though. Wallahi, if that man is a righteous man, he may even break into tears. And he's going to like, subhanallah. I'm yelling at her, I'm calling her names. She could not only yell at me, she could have hit me with anything in her hand, like some women do. But subhanAllah, she went, she didn't say nothing to me. She smiled and went and get me some ice cream. Then he's going to say, you know what? Jazakillah khairan, subhanAllah, you're better than me. How you do it? I want to know how you do it. How you do it? I'm yelling at you. You're supposed to yell back. How you do it? You smile and went and get me some ice cream. How you do that? I want to get into that level. She's like, brother, Quran, ain't nothing else. The ayats. See, some people, the ayats go to their hearts, and some ayats just go one ear, go to the other, out the other. But some people, they hear the ayah, two people. She will tell him, brother, you took me to the masjid. Remember that class of marriage, divorce? You took me there. Well, that's what did it to me. That's it. That's what the Sheikh Fawzan was saying. That's all I needed to hear. I'm not going to give you no more hard time, because if I give you a hard time, I'm giving it to myself. That's it. I'm going to try to do what's keep me on the path of Jannah. It's not about you. You know, you yell at me, that's your problem. You're going to face Allah with that. As for me, I'm going to do what's pleasing to my Lord. You can yell at me, you can do anything you do. I'm going to treat you as my Lord command me to treat you, because I want the reward from Allah. This is the believing woman. The same thing. A man, his wife give him a hard time, he still give her rights. Because we don't give rights. You give me my rights, I give you yours. You don't give me my rights, you ain't going to see nothing. This is not how we work. Now we do things to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me just finish the ayah and then we finish the class. He said, the unmarried among you and the righteous among your male slaves and female slaves. If they should be poor, Allah will enrich them from His bounty. And Allah is all encompassing and knowing. But let them who find not the means for marriage abstain from sexual relations until Allah enriches them from His bounty. May Allah protect us and make us from those who, when they listen to the speech, they follow it. وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.